this is the continuation video of the halter neck pattern tutorial that I made in the previous video. So please do well to watch this video to the end. But first, let me start by introducing myself. Hi, my name is Lillian of Lillian Fashion Lounge, and in this video we'll be talking about how to sew this halter neck peplum dress. So if you are interested in watching this video, please watch to the end, like, share and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any updates or any new videos from me. So let's get started. Now these are the materials that we're going to be needing for this tutorial. This is my lining material. This is my cotton lining that I'll be using for the lining. Then I'll be using my thread, of course. Then I'll be using my fabric. Then I'll also be using my zip, which is not here at the moment. So we're going to get right into cutting our fabric, our pattern. So I will start by marking out my sewing allowance. So for the arm hole area, I'll be using 1/2 inch, while for the side I'll be using 1 inch. Now you can decide to add as much as you want. If you have enough fabric, you can decide to add as much as you want, but I did not want to waste my fabric, so that is why I'm cutting just what I need. So I'll be doing the same thing for the back. The only difference is for the back, for the center back, I'll be using 1 inch. Instead of cutting it on fold, I'll be using 1 inch for the zip allowance, and I'll also be using 1/2 inch also for the waist. Then for the neck area, the halter neck area, I'll be, if you notice for the fabric, for the pattern was not aligning, so that was why I used my armhole curve to correct the pattern on my fabric, so that it will not, so it is going to align. Then I'm going to be cutting out my sewing allowance. So after cutting out the upper part of my dress, I'm going to go ahead and cut the peplum. Now to cut the peplum, you're going to be folding your fabric in bias. So after folding your fabric in bias, I'm supposed to be cutting out from the upper part, but I'm using the down part because I want it to be fuller. So that's how I'm cutting from the down. I was measuring from the lower part of the fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, measure my gown length, and I'm going to cut it out, adding my sewing allowance also. So I'm going to proceed to cutting out my lining. So after cutting out my lining and cutting my fabric, I'm going to go. I've gone ahead to sew my darts. Now, if you want to learn if you want me to make a different video, I can't be making all here, so in order not to make the video long. But if you want me to make a video on how to transfer the dart from pattern to fabric, please let me know in the comment section. I'm going to make a video so that I can make a video on it. So after doing that, I'm going to sew on. I've sewn my side inches, which is the 1 inches. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is to sew my armhole. Don't forget that it is an armless dress, so I'm going to be sewing my armhole first on 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to be sewing my neckline on the outer part of the fabric, on the front side of the fabric. So the next thing I'm going to do is to sew the remaining side, which is the center back and the waist. Then after doing that, the next thing we're going to do is to move to the neckline. Now for the neckline, it is actually very simple, but first we are going to first of all notch. We are going to first of all notch our center front, the upper part and the down part, so that it will be easy to sew back to the main dress. So I'm going to start by labeling the neck area and the area where I'm going to be joining back to the main fabric. This is actually very important. It is going to make your sewing very, very easy. When it comes to labeling makes your sewing very, very easy. It keeps you from making unnecessary mistakes and losing. So I prefer to always label both my pattern and my fabric. It makes our work very seamless and easy. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the neckline first on 1/2 inch. Then I'll take it to my iron and iron it. So after doing that, I'm going to continue with my lining. So I want to add a hard net. I wanted to add hard net to my lining to give it to give it more fullness. So in order to do that, I'll first of all measure the down part of my lining. After measuring, I'll go ahead and also measure the length. So because we're not going to be sewing it from the waist, so we're going to be sewing it in the middle area. So I'm going to measure the length of my lining is 18, so and I want to use 14, which I've gone ahead to cut. So I'll be ascertaining here where the hard net is going to start. So I'll be measuring 3 inches from my waist. So that is where I want my hard net to start from. So I'll be measuring it all through the lining from the waist. So after measuring, I'm going to go ahead and start placing my hard net to my lining. Now, in order to place it, in order to get your fullness, you're going to be placing it on the opposite side of your fabric. So we are going to go back to our neckline. So in order to get a very perfect and seamless neckline, I'm going to be folding it, and I'll be using my pin. I'll be folding it on 1/2 inch, and I'll be using my pin to hold it down. So we are back to our lining, and I'm done with sewing. So you can decide to iron it, and you can also decide to top stitch it, whichever one is suitable for you. So I'm going to go ahead and sew my peplum, my Ankara fabric on the front, the right side of my Ankara fabric. So after doing that, I've gone ahead to add my zip on my 1 inch sewing allowance that I added while cutting. So let's go ahead and overlock the back area so that it is not going to be rough. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.